is Manoa Kamikamica, and I'm issuing this press release on behalf of our party leader who is unavailable today. But I do so as well on behalf of the People's Alliance Party and the people of Fiji who are fed up with this government. The People's Alliance is shocked and angry at the unjust prosecution by the FijiFirst party, which has led to the party being referred to FICAC without being given a chance to respond to allegations labeled against the party. Around 6 p.m. on Tuesday, the 20th of September 2022, the FijiFirst General Secretary and Registered Officer of the party, Sayed made serious allegations and defamatory statements at a press conference in the FijiFirst party office, which have not been provided to us by the complainant, despite telling the media the People's Alliance was copied in the complaint. Sayed claimed to have copied the letters of these allegations to Mr. Sitiveni Ramuka, Shajao Narayan, Linda Tambuya, Liliana Warid, Daniel Lavender, Cecil Brown, Philemon Rosarono, Kenny Naguiraketi, and Ajay by Amrit is an outright lie. No such 19-page letter was received directly by any of the executives or the cited copied members of the party last evening until early this morning when Ms. Linda Tambuya got the letter. Instead, we have had to endure anxiety, confusion as we waited for a copy of these allegations, even when we were swiftly referred to FICAC without the simple due process of seeking a response from us as a party. The FijiFirst General Secretary is, as usual, running roughshod over everything, especially as Minister with oversight over FICAC, and these are clear signals of desperation and cowardice. We will not be cowed by fear when we have done nothing wrong, except be on the receiving end of blatant political thuggery. This manner of political persecution has happened to our leader in the past, again causing chaos on the eve of the 2018 elections, so this modus operandi is predictable. The People's Alliance and the people of Fiji will not take this lying down. I want to make it clear that the People's Alliance Party reserves the right to lodge complaints against the FijiFirst Party and FijiFirst Party for its blatant vote buying tactics and practices. In terms of the current attack by Mr. Sayed Kayum, there are certain questions that need to be asked. Has the position of those named by Mr. Kayum in his press conference been compromised? Was he acting as prosecutor, judge, and jury? What role was he speaking in? Minister for Elections, Attorney General, or Secretary General for the FijiFirst Party? He appeared to be asking for the full force of the law to apply and gave the impression, in his view, the law had been violated. When the most powerful person in the country takes this sort of hardline position, it has great significance and impact. The question is whether the investigation and possible legal proceedings will be prejudiced or influenced by his detailed and outspoken criticisms. To a layperson with some knowledge of these issues, his message seemed clear. He thought those implicated were in breach. In that case, how can they receive a fair hearing? There is a wider public perception that the government is using giveaways, including money, equipment, tools, boats, infrastructure, and other items to influence voters during an election campaign. To avoid any impression of that, the ministers involved, including the Prime Minister, should not use government vehicles to attend to their giveaway functions. They should go in their own private vehicles and not be accompanied by a procession of large official delegations. The FijiFirst receives numerous donations from the business community. There is a perception of a large network and patronage at work. Fiji is a constitutional democracy. The Constitution names the Republic as a sovereign democratic state. There are at least two other references to the country as a democratic society. The Constitution and the values of the People's Alliance reflect the principles of democracy. There is an urgent need now to study the Constitution of FijiFirst. Is it democratic? It appears that the PM and the Attorney General may occupy their positions for life. If so, this is not democratic. Democratic parties like the People's Alliance and National Federation hold annual general meetings. They are a staple for democracy and serve as an important function. It appears the FijiFirst party does not have annual meetings. This is also undemocratic. Probably organized meetings like the People's Alliance and NFP have wide networks of branches to serve the interests of the local members. Again, does FijiFirst have such a network? If it does not, it is not democratic. Democratic parties regularly stage polls to elect key officials at a national and local level. This is again a staple of democracy. It would appear that the FijiFirst party may be completely undemocratic. If that is so, how can it possibly contest elections organized under a national constitution that adheres to the principles and rules of democracy? I now wish to touch Rock the Vote. Rock the Vote, I would like to make clear, is not a project of the People's Alliance, but we applaud it since they are doing a civic duty to encourage our citizens to register to vote and then turn up to vote, which is supporting the work of the Elections Office, not competing with it. This is no different from Jerry Tuai with his billboard encouraging our citizens to vote, or the PSA running workshops with students to vote. Finally, the party leader was going to visit the family of a lady that was brutally murdered in Christchurch earlier this year, in the village of Namitu in Taireu. But given the way Sayed Keum is trying to control and regulate the conduct of candidates, he is now double-minded about going, whether he should go or not, to fulfill his traditional obligations and pay respects to the family of the deceased lady. But on behalf of our party leader, I am here to tell you, he is going anyway. This is what Fiji has become, where kindness and generosity is now a crime. Thank you for your attention.